The consequence of owning zero QNT is starting to hit many people. We are up 100% since the tariff pause. In just 4 days of 22% gains, we put QNT at $300 per token. Prices we have not seen in years. And 2025 is the year of the wake up call. So far, we have the Oracle platform live, digital euro integration, and staking coming any day now. This is just the beginning. So if you hold QNT or just enjoy watching the QNT videos, be sure to leave a like down below. And with that said, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so a quick reminder for every video that we make that this is not financial advice and for entertainment purposes only. Nothing in crypto is guaranteed and you could lose all of your money. Stay safe and do your own research. Now first, what is the consequence of owning zero QNT? Well, as we said in the intro, we are up 2x from the tariff pause, and just 4 days of 22% gains, we put QNT over $300. And there will be a reality in the future where you wake up in the morning, you check the Coinbase alerts, and the price is over 1K per QNT, because this is one of the best consolidation in any altcoin chart that I have seen. But remember, no inflation for QNT, no unlocks and adoption every single month we have seen of the year 2025. And the shift from memes, rubbish tokens to utility is going to take place and already taking place right now. Right on Pump Fund, where you see these enormous gains, thousands of percent, you probably assume that millionaires are being made every single day. Well, here we can see only 5 people made over 50K in the past month. And I can almost guarantee of those 5 wallets, they are rug deployers. So only 3% made more than $500. This is the reality of things. Now going back to QNT, a token that is somewhat forgotten because obviously not many people hold QNT in the first place, but a token that has not made a new macro low since 2022. Why? Well, as we just stated, no inflation, fully unlocked since day one. And scarcity is not a thing that many people actually talk about here, but we know there's 14.8 million tokens, and now we're going to see lockups for licenses and node staking. And I truly believe people will start to adopt the same attitude for QNT like they have done for Bitcoin. Right? When it comes to stacking as much as you can. When I make the comparison, I see a token capped at 21 million tokens. Right? I think of it as a digital gold, a hedge against inflation. But I do not see it as much of a network, but rather a vault. When I think of QNT, I see a token with not just scarcity, but function, right? A token that is the backbone for blockchain oracles built into the ISO standards TC 307, needed to the overledger flow and remote connectors, a CEO that has advised governments and institutions, not just Twitter threads, the tech that is patented, enterprise ready and already in motion, and a token that is already working with many central banks. So I think of Bitcoin as the macro hedge play and QNT as the infrastructure play. And a wake up call is coming for many in 2025 for those that do not own QNT. Right, in a recent video when QNT's price was a lot lower, we spoke about how 99% of people own zero QNT, but the majority are aware of the project. They know what it's about. They have probably held it in the past, but sold due to events like the moving social media platforms or just capitulation of exhaustion in the market. But if I've learned in this market, especially with XRP, if you believe you have a winner, you have to hold on to it. Now, so far in 2025, people have been thinking about QNT again because of major events occurring. First, obviously, being the Oracle platform, the big one being involved in the Digital Euro project, and more recently, the FCA registered crypto asset firm launching the GBP stablecoin. And even more recently, we have Overledger Fusion, with staking coming at any point in June. And when do I think it's going to be announced? Probably at the Digital Innovation Summit event in the 24th of June. And it's not uncommon to announce things at events, as so far we only know it's going to be in June. It could be any day, it could be tomorrow, next week, but we do know that they announced UK Finance, so they joined them back at the Digital Innovation Summit in 2023. and in EBA 2023, expanding on their work with Project Rosin with the Bank of International Settlements and the Bank of England. And not only are they sponsoring this event, but the CEO, Gilbert Verdine, is moderating a panel. And staking is really the final piece to get retail back into the game of QNT and understand more about the technology, because it has been distant in that aspect. Right back in 2021, was gateways and staking was announced. People were like, when gateways, when is it coming? But there was pauses in place due to regulatory uncertainty. Now we have those clearances in place. And just looking at the staking participation rates for other known projects like Sui, Solana, and so on, you have 70, 60, and 50%. Imagine just 10, 20, 30, or 40% for QNT. Remember, the token is non-inflationary and the actual rewards are based on usage. So we're going to see return from retail, extra demand for retail, and continued demand from institutions. But many people argue that QNT has no marketing at all. Right? When you look at their X platform, it's very formal, like a traditional financial company. They're not trying to hire an intern and appear relatable, posting memes and pointless posts. They're appearing very formal. The way that they market their product is doing what they're doing, right? Sponsoring events like EBA Day and Digital Innovation Summit. And now moving on to the last point, a big inspiration for this video, as many may get left behind. Has the sleeping giant finally woken up? Is it time for QNT to finally take off? Now, when we look at the chart, it's generally agreed that the bottom for Bitcoin was the FTX fiasco back in November 2022. When you zoom out far enough, you can pretty much see up only from that point. Obviously, hurdles on the way, like the summer of 2024. But when we look at QNT, we have seen constant rejection from the 150, 160, 170 area throughout the market. And this has happened for most altcoins in the market. They have not broken prior all-time highs. And I'm not in the game or business of trying to predict the future. Right, on the channel, I find cryptos I believe are going to do well in the future. I dollar cost average when I feel like I need to. I sit and wait, and then I take profit. But looking at the chart, looking at Bitcoin dominance, a chart that many have tried to predict the top going back to 2023, it does not seem to stop at all. What I can tell you is that we are closer to the top than we are to the bottom, and that the altcoin index is near the lows. And with growing tweets that there's no more alt seasons, there's too many coins, too much dilution, not enough money to go around, I feel more and more confident of that certainty that we will finally see Bitcoin dominance trickle down and an alt season in play. Now, do not get me wrong, the idea that we are not in a bull market is a lie. The idea that there's not been opportunities to make money is also a lie. And some people might clown me for this, but I'm currently more cash than I am cryptocurrency, because those are profits I've taken out of the market. I do not plan to invest at least until the next bear market, and that I do not plan to round trip back into the market. But when it comes to opportunities like QNT, where the risk to reward ratio makes sense, that is where I put my remaining funds. And the mathematical equivalent of QNT at $122 is XRP at 3 cents, XLM at 6 cents, and Link at $2.70 per token. But that is going to be pretty much it for today's video. The consequence of owning zero QNT has not really taken much effect just yet. When we start going past previous resistant levels on the way to all-time high, then people will finally realize. When it comes to staking, the biggest thing that is actually coming, most people do not realize it. Right? We're talking about a post here, got 1.6k likes, 700 retweets. It wasn't posted in big, bold letters in the title. You actually have to scroll down and look and find it yourself. Most people do not understand what is coming. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you're interested in what I actually hold in my portfolio, how much QNT I have into relation to other cryptos like Tau, a crypto that is actually top of my portfolio that I barely speak about, and a crypto that is at the bottom of my portfolio that I also barely speak about, you can go and find them in these membership-only videos. But that is going to be pretty much it for today's video. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.